name is Adam, and today we're going on an adventure to celebrate the bottlenose dolphin. It's our hope that you leave here knowing a lot more about these amazing animals and have a renewed respect for the ocean and waterways that we share with them. I can't think of a better way to get things started than by introducing you to some of the dolphins we care for every day. On your left are Diego and Hutch. Diego and Hutch are bottlenose dolphins, which are just one of several different species of whales and dolphins, also known as cetaceans, that can be found right off the Florida coast. Now, after today's presentation, be sure to visit us over at the Dolphin Cove to learn even more and get a closer look at this amazing marine mammal. All right, now that we've met some of our pod, let's dive in and talk all about what makes dolphins so cool. Nature has given them some amazing adaptations to help them to navigate, to forage, and to play. Like echolocation, dolphins actually have the ability to see with sound, which can come in handy when there's murky water or at night. Now those echolocation sounds that they make underwater are so high-pitched that our ears can't hear them. But dolphins make a variety of vocalizations from the blowhole right up here on top of their head. Let's listen in. Alright, so you guys heard a bunch of examples there. Great job, everybody. So they use those blowholes not only to vocalize, but also to hold their breath. Dolphins hold their breath when they're foraging for their prey, which largely consists of fish, squid, and the occasional crustacean. Now to catch fast-moving and slippery fish, dolphins use their powerful tails to swim up to 22 miles per hour. But they don't just use those tails to swim really fast. They can also use them to leap high above the waves to see what's going on at the surface of the water. Very good. I think Bubba and Marvel are going to show you a great example of how they leap up and out of the water. Engaging our dolphins physically and mentally helps us give them the best care possible and provides exceptional animal welfare. With this care, we're able to build bonds and relationships with them much like you would with your dog at home. And while dolphins may seem to be natural athletes, our mutual love of play is one thing that provides that connection between us. And over the past 50 plus years, SeaWorld has learned that their play ultimately leads to our discoveries. And though our playtime today might just look like a lot of impressive jumps and spins, it's actually an essential part of how we care for them. Just watch.
It can bring out the child in any of us. And childhood impressions can often last a lifetime. That's why this afternoon we hope to inspire a young SeaWorld guest in much the same way that I was inspired on my first visit to SeaWorld in 1987. Today we're joined by my new friend. What's your name? Hi, Haven. Where are you from? She's from her house. Okay. Haven, come over here with me. What we're going to do is we're going to give you a chance to meet one of our dolphins. Now, what you're going to help me do today is explain to everybody how we build friendships and relationships with all of our animals. Now, let me ask you a question. Have you, at home, do you have any dogs or cats? You have one dog. Is it a boy or a girl? All right, so all of the dolphins here are boys, all right? And all of the dolphins here were born within our SeaWorld parks. One of the things that we do from time to time is we give our dolphins an opportunity for playtime, and that's what's happening right now. So whenever the dolphins perform well during the performance or the presentation, what we do is we give them an opportunity to have some playtime just like this. It's sort of like at school how you have recess. Now, in just a moment, all of our trainers are going to join me here on the center stage area. That's going to be Megan and Jackie and Billie Jean. And what's going to happen is all together, we're going to tap the surface of the water. And we're going to see if we can get all the dolphins to come right here to this area. Now, what they're waiting for is they're waiting for the dolphin. Oh, they're having a good time. Sometimes they jump and flip just for the fun of it. Now, what we're waiting for is we're waiting for an opportunity to see them to stop their playtime. And then once that's situated, maybe right now, they'll tap the surface of the water, nice and loud, so the dolphins can hear it. And then once they get here, we're going to see if we can get all the dolphins situated so that you can meet one of them. Now, that dolphin's name is Bubba. I've known Bubba since 1999. All right, so let's see what's going to happen here. We're going to meet a dolphin named Starbuck. Starbuck's going to come over this way. Come on, Starbuck. All right, there you go. Right here. All right, Haven, what we're going to do is I'm going to have you meet him by tossing him some fish. So what I want you to do is take the fish like this. Yep. What kind of fish is that? Take a guess. It is dead. It's dead fish. Toss it in. Okay. Alright, so now I want you to meet him formally. Come up here with me. Stand up tall. You're going to shake his flipper. Oh, don't be scared. He's going to come up and you're going to say hi. Yep, he's ready. You got to get a couple steps closer. Be brave. I got you. He's going to come all the way up and you shake his flipper. Haven, it's Starbuck. Starbuck, that's Haven. Yeah, you did it. Haven, I'm going to give you a couple more fish. Toss them in. Yep, there's one. Don't squeeze it that tight. Oh, you popped the guts out. It's okay. Haven, look at your hands. Oh, fish guts. Smell it. Oh, no. I'll show you how to get rid of it, Haven. Put your hands like this and then put them together. Oh, he's watching. Rub them. Rub the fish guts. Fast. Gotta go fast. Fast. Dry them off. Right on your shirt. Right. Haven, come over here with me. We're going to pet him. You need to kneel down. You can get down on the floor and rub him on his back. Haven, yeah, he's very soft. What do you think he feels like? A dolphin, yeah. He's ticklish. Give him a tickle. Right there. Yep, right in front of that fin. Just tickle him. Yep, that's his tickle spot. Got it. Oh, hey, sorry. What? Haven? Did he wet your pants? Yeah. Go get another fish. Hey, go ahead, toss it in. Toss it right in. Good. Hey, you're doing so great. What I think we'll do is see if you can try a fancy move. You're going to stand right here in the center, face me, and look at him. When I say go, I want you to look at him and clap your hands together one time. Ready, set, go. Okay, you moved. You're harder to train than he is. Stand this way, look at him, and clap real big. Go! He saw you, Haven! Watch way over there, Haven. This is just for you. You did great! Haven, you're doing awesome. Really well done.
Haven just had an adventure and learned a whole lot about dolphins. But don't you guys go anywhere. We've got a lot more for you to discover as well. But discovery can also lead to risk. Dolphins are innately curious, and in the ocean, this can lead them to go to polluted areas or to play with trash. So what can we all do to help? Well, simple things can have big impacts. Recycle, join a beach cleanup, being sure to properly dispose of fishing line or plastic bottles. Better yet, choose reusable items like grocery bags or reusable straws. This can greatly reduce the amount of waste to be produced. You know, Michael and I are just two of over 350 zoological professionals on the SeaWorld Orlando team. Collectively, this team not only provides world-class care for these dolphins, but is also facilitated in the rescue of over 38,000 animals, with the goal of rehabilitating and returning those animals to their natural environment. Your visit today matters. What I mean by saying your visit today matters is that when you came through SeaWorld's front door today, you helped an animal out in the ocean. So on behalf of our entire animal care team, we say thank you. When we care for our world and take action on behalf of the animals that call it home, that's part of the legacy that we're leaving behind. And that legacy is one worth celebrating. Thank you so much. Be open to new discoveries and see the world with new eyes. What will you discover today? Goodbye, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your adventure at SeaWorld.
sudden slowdown at the bottom of the hill.
fierce blizzard is coming. And the penguins hurry away to the shelter of a nearby ice cavern. A few stay behind with this anxious young couple. It's late in the breeding season, and their egg is the last to hatch. But the storm is looming closer and closer. Time is running out for one little penguin named Puck. Soon, Puck will lose that fuzzy down, and with his waterproof feathers grown in, he'll dive into the sea for the first time to begin the greatest adventure of his life. But now, we must seek shelter from the storm. There are many dangers in this beautiful and harsh land. Alone, we will not survive, but together, we will thrive. Now, let us begin our adventure. Safe from the storm, Puck is older now, ready to explore all on his own. In this amazing land of ice and snow, he finds a clever new way to view the world. It's time to see the wonders of Antarctica through the eyes of Puck. So come on!
It's time to follow along with Puck as he slips and slides and discovers the wonder of his own reflection in the air. Puck slides and glides into a cavern icy dancing. Puck is almost grown up and he ventures out into a blizzard to hunt in the sea. it's your turn to continue the adventure as your family meets our penguin family. It's your turn to continue the adventure. step off.
On behalf of our entire Killer Whale training team, we'd like to welcome you to Orc Encounter. Being a part of SeaWorld's mission is more than just a job. We're proud of the work that we do, and we're excited to share with you the ways that we care for, teach, learn from, and develop relationships with our whales. Now more than ever, we're excited to share what we've learned and our relationships with all of you. SeaWorld proudly presents Orc Encounter.
Our world has one interconnected ocean. A vast blue expanse critical to life on Earth. And there's no better animal to represent the ocean's beauty than the killer whale.
They live in every corner of the ocean, from the Arctic to the Atlantic, the Southern to the Indian, to the Pacific and beyond.
The killer whale story is the ocean story, and it's one we all share.
We are one world, united by our ocean.
speed, power, and problem-solving abilities. These behaviors help our keeper whales active and engaged. Silly girl. You know, SeaWorld's killer whales have inspired generations to care about our natural world. We're excited to share their story with all of you.
Killer whales are the ocean's top predator. They use cooperation and communication, not just size and strength, to take their place at the top of the ocean's food web. At the bottom are small animals, like krill. At the top, the apex predator, the killer whale. Killer whales are as big as a bus, faster than an Olympic swimmer, high flying and powerful.
Today we're going to see all of that and much more. These and other behaviors provide an environment that's full of enrichment.
We spend days, weeks, months, years building relationships with our whales. This creates trust, and that allows us to do some amazing things. For example, when you visit the doctor, you will present your arm to draw blood, or step on the scale to see how much you weigh. It's much the same with our whales.
Throughout today's presentation, you're going to see the whales moving together in unison. These synchronized behaviors strengthen their social bonds and allow them to problem solve as a team. This is just another adaptation that make them the ocean's top predator. Another scientific name is Orcinus orca. Their common name is killer whale. But here at SeaWorld, our 5 killer whales have their own individual names and definitely personalities. As we talked about, you just met some of our females, Katina, Milani, and Malia. Coming out right now, these are 2 males, True and Makayo. Makayo is 10 years old, True is 15. Makayo is weighing around 4,500 pounds. True is weighing over 6,500 pounds. Now, Makayo is actually the offspring of our matriarch, Katina. Katina has had 7 calves under our care, and guess what? She's 44 years old. Yeah, it takes a long time to develop relationships and start interacting with these animals. But once we've developed a trust, that's not only between the whales to the trainers, but the trainers to the whales, we've learned a lot about them. Over the years, we've been able to see how that relationship develops. And once we have that trust, we can start training some amazing behaviors. Now, the first behaviors we train are called husbandry, or healthcare behaviors. So right now, Morgan and Lisa have asked Makayo and Trua to present their tail flukes. Now this is a husbandry or healthcare behavior that allows our veterinarians to go ahead and collect a blood sample. So if I was a veterinarian, I came over to where Morgan is, she would actually point out right on those tail flukes where that blood vein is. Now once we collect that blood, we're able to take it to a lab that we have right here on site. Within a couple hours, we have each of the whales' own diagnostic levels. Now we do this proactively, so that once a month, the whales get an entire physical from tip to tail. So you go to the doctor once a year. Our killer whales get 12 physicals every single year. Now we're going to do a different husbandry behavior every other week. We're going to need to get the weight of our whales. It's a very simple behavior. In fact, we're going to demonstrate it right here for you. All we need the whales to do is slide on up. Great job, boys. Now you can clearly see the size difference between Makayo and Trua. But if you look at them, do you see how their head and their tails are still in the water? That would be like you or I stepping onto the scale with just 1 foot. So to fix that, our trainers simply have to ask them to lift their heads and their tails. And just like that, we're able to make sure that our younger whales are growing and our older whales are maintaining a healthy weight. Now, SeaWorld's research and observation of the killer whales in our care has shed light onto many of the mysteries surrounding these amazing animals. For example, we now know that the gestation or the pregnancy of a killer whale is 17 months. That information would be impossible to gain out in the wild. Other information can only be obtained through field observation. So in those cases, SeaWorld teams up with our partners, like the Norwegian Orca Survey or NOAA, to further our knowledge. Killer whales are powerful animals, but perhaps their power is best seen when they hunt.
Killer whales stand apart. They have no natural predators, and just about any other ocean animal can eat their dinner. themselves, riding in on waves just long enough to catch prey. They'll also create waves that knock animals like penguins or seals from ice cliffs. Most importantly, they cooperate, communicate, and coordinate as a team. Here's footage of killer whales corralling a school of herring. A whale dips in and feeds, while the other whales keep the fish together with swipes of their tail flips.
So, killer whales create waves to hunt, and they use their tail flips to stop their prey. You're about to get a demonstration. For our whales, it's a fun activity session. But for you, it means it's time to get wet.
Unfortunately, things like overfishing, pollution, and other factors are having a negative impact on our killer whale populations.
Killer whales are impressive animals, and it's pretty obvious why they're the top predator in the ocean. That means killer whales are invincible, right? Wrong.
Killer whales depend on a plentiful food source and a clean environment. They're completely dominant, yet completely dependent.
When it comes down to it, killer whales are not the most powerful animal in the ocean. Their future depends on you.
Through your actions.
Through the choices we all make. We hold the future of killer whales and the oceans in our hands.
Killer whales continue to surprise and amaze us. They're the perfect ambassador of the ocean, limitless, connected, powerful, but still vulnerable. The challenges that we face can seem insurmountable.
Don't give up. Be inspired.
We can make a difference. The ocean needs our help, and that seems overwhelming, but together we can make it happen.
There's so much to learn.
So much to protect. So much to explore. The killer whale story is still being written, and there are simple things we all can do to make a difference. All it takes is one choice.
One positive act. One ripple that can grow and grow and change the world. Together, we've got this.
Beautiful Welcome, great explorers. I'm the operations coordinator here at the Franklin Exploration Center, a staging and support facility for Base Station Wild Arctic. I can see we have a hearty group of adventurers today, although some of you seem to be lacking in the proper equipment. Shorts and t-shirts are not Arctic gear. Enough said. Education is our mission, and that's why Thomas Purcell founded the center in 1937 as part of his dream of creating a permanent Arctic research station. He theorized that man could survive in this harsh climate to observe and research the fragile Arctic ecology. That dream became a reality with the completion of Base Station Wild Arctic. Today, we will take you on a short jet helicopter ride. Utilizing special whisper and snorkel modes, we will let you see sights seldom seen by the public. Rare Arctic birds, aquatic mammals, and a pristine wilderness of ice. Once on the ground at Base Station Wild Arctic, you will see many of these animals up close, as well as have the opportunity to walk through the Erebus, one of the two 19th century sailing ships that are now trapped permanently in the ice. I would like to remind you that this helicopter ride is not recommended for expectant mothers, anyone with heart, neck, or back problems, or those prone to motion sickness. Please contact the flight crew, and they will arrange to have you fly on a non-motion, gyro-stabilized helicopter. We're going to the first officer now, who has some important information to give you prior to boarding.
Hi, everyone. I'm your first officer, Norm Snowman Miller. You'll be soaring the Arctic skies aboard White Thunder with Captain Emerson at the stick. When we kick the jets in on this baby, she'll do 400 miles per hour. But don't worry about safety. Our onboard computer will make sure nothing can possibly go wrong.
Warning, nasty Arctic storm headed for base.
I'm sure it's not that bad.
No, it's bad.
And I should tell you that in the unlikely event of a water landing, the person seated next to you can be used as a flotation device. To ensure your safety, I need all of you to follow a few simple instructions. When giving appearance to board, walk quickly across the cabin to back. Remember to keep your head low when approaching White Thunder, or you'll be sporting a flat top look. To secure your seatbelt, place the metal tab into the slot and place all your carry-on luggage on your lap. Give that seatbelt a tug to make sure it's secure. Remain seated throughout the entire flight. Don't make me come back there. After we land at Base Station Wild Arctic and the doors open, remove your seatbelt and collect all your carry-on luggage. Exit through the open doors. Hey, it sounds like the computer's starting the engines. And even though I'm not flying White Thunder today, I've got a lot of things to do. Important co-pilot stuff. You know, knobs to turn, buttons to push. This is the Snowman. Over and out.
This is Captain Emerson, White Thunder, come back.
We have nasty storm system closing in at 018. It's heading right through your flight path.
No problem. We'll make it to Base Station Wild Arctic before that storm does. This is Captain Emerson. Welcome aboard White Thunder. Station Wild Arctic. Should be a short, comfortable flight, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the scenery. I heard a caribou. Looks like they're going in our direction. These sensors detecting what appears to be polar bear activity. We're racing an Arctic storm, but I think we have time to take a little side trip. I'll set our rotors to whisper mode so we can get in close. Oh, look at that. The mother and her cubs. Let's leave them be. We're in luck. There's more animal activity on the other side of this glacier. If we hurry, we can take a look. Hang on.
300 feet. 100 feet.
White Thunder to base. We're dropping underwater. Whoa! That narwhal
Storm warning.
Looks like that storm is picked up. We better get going.
Flying mode restored.
Don't want to scare those walls. I have a warning indicator light flashing. Since we're sitting down on this glacier, I'm shutting down until I check it out. Oh no. Oh no, the edge of this glacier can't hold our weight. Got to get rotors back. It won't start. Code red. Thrusters on. And pull us out of this. That was close.
Storm alert. Storm alert.
That storm front is trying to cut us off at the pass, taking an emergency route.
Warning. Overheat. Warning.
This case, hang on. It's an avalanche. Brace yourselves. We made it.
This is Base Station Walt.
This is White Thunder,
Great to hear from you, Captain. Flight went down in the storm. Looking forward to your visit.
and we're all looking forward to solid ground. We're coming in. This is Captain Emerson thanking you for flying White Thunder. I hope you all have a great time exploring Base Station Wild Arctic. Till next time, over and out.
Please place the doors open before you catch.
Pretty sure that started. That opened with SeaWorld. It's so old.
That one's like, get out of my way.
Let's do it. I want to come over there. You guys are blocking the way out. Oh, there we go.
Good.
Like this. Oh, great.
striped skunk, and he gets his name from these beautiful racing stripes going down his back. There's also spotted skunks that live right here in Florida, as well as a hog-nosed skunk with a nose kind of like a pig. But what all skunks have in common is the spray. You guys all know about skunk spray, right? Yeah, so instead of talking about it, I think I'm just going to show you how it works. I'm just kidding. I'm saving that little stunt for the end of my career. And it will most definitely happen in a junior high school. Oh, it's going to be amazing. But that spray is the skunk's only form of defense. He can't run that fast. He doesn't have super sharp claws or a very strong bite. So let's say a skunk sees a predator. So the first thing he'll do is stomp his little skunk feet to say, I am a skunk and I am about to spray. If that doesn't work, he'll even do handstands, waving that tail in the air to really show off the fact that he is a skunk and he is about to spray. And if that second warning isn't enough, well then he will spray. And they can spray about 15 feet. So some of you lucky people are in the spray zone right now. Now, we all know it smells bad, but that's actually not the important part. That spray will get into the eyes and the nose of the animal that's attacking him, and it burns, working like nature's pepper spray, and hopefully getting that animal to leave him alone. But we've been having a bit of a problem with skunks. Every week at our center, we'll get calls from people saying, oh my goodness, we've got such a skunk problem. So we'll say, what's the problem? And about 9 times out of 10, it's a family saying, well, every night there's this group of skunks that comes up onto our porch and eats all our dog and cat food. I'm sorry, that's not really a skunk problem, that's a people problem. People are leaving food out in the middle of the night and expecting wild animals not to come up and eat it. But this is causing problems though. These skunks are getting so much extra food that they're having more and more babies, and then the population is growing to the point where they're becoming an issue. Luckily, it's very easy to fix. Just bring that dog and cat food in at night, and then these guys can go back to eating things they're supposed to eat. Things like slugs and snails and other pests that will turn them into helper animals rather than problem animals. Now, we got little Pepe here because his mother was unfortunately hit by a car. And when the people got out and saw little Pepe by the side of the road, they decided to take him home. He even managed to get his scent glands removed, which meant that when they got caught, Pepe here was deemed non-releasable. So instead he was sent to live at our center. Let's give a hand to little Pepe the striped skunk.
Now this is Giggles, and he is the laughing kookaburra. And this little bird here is truly famous for his voice. See, they use the kookaburra's call in the background of every single movie that's ever had a jungle scene ever. It doesn't matter if they're showing an African, a South American, or an Asian jungle, they use the kookaburra's call, even though he's from the exact opposite climate. He's from the grasslands of Australia, but they use his voice because it does sound like it comes from the jungle. You guys want to hear it? All right, you ready, buddy? I love it. Yeah. Now, although he may be famous for that awesome voice of his, he should be famous for something else as well, because this bird here is an amazing hunter. He's actually the largest member of the kingfisher family, but he doesn't hunt fish. No, instead he hunts mice, lizards, and snakes in the grasslands of Australia. I've even seen videos of these birds hunting thin snakes as long as 6 feet. They'll dive down with that specialized bill of theirs. They grab onto the snakes right behind the back of the head, then they'll whip them back and forth until it's like a limp noodle. Then he starts to swallow. Slowly swallowing, digesting that snake over 3 days, while the rest of it hangs out the corner of his mouth. Sounds weird, works very well for the kookaburra though. Now, somebody here in the US fell in love with these birds. They found a way to purchase one online and brought one into their home. Only this person lived in an apartment complex. And see, kookaburra are known in Australia as the outback alarm clock, because every single morning at the break of dawn, they let out that call. Let's just say the neighbors weren't such a big fan of Giggles here, which is why he was sent to us at our center. Now, I do love this bird a lot, but being woken up by that call every single morning would be enough to have me pull my hair out, kind of like our next guest. But that's Giggles, the laughing kookaburra.
This is Whizzer, our turkey vulture. Now, turkey vultures get up in the morning and the first thing they do is spread out their big wings and start to sunbathe. He will use his wings just like big solar panels, and once he's nice and warm, he'll take to the skies. Once he's up there, he'll lock out those wings and start doing big, lazy circles in the air. Well, they look lazy, but he's actually working. He's going like this. He's smelling. He's smelling for the grossest, stinkiest, most rotten, disgusting thing that he can find. And when he smells something totally gross that's been dead for a while, he says at lunchtime and dives right on in to make a meal out of it. Vultures eat dead stuff. Now, most of us hear dead stuff and think, ew, but if we're honest with ourselves, most of us eat dead stuff too. No one's chasing a cow down the road to chew on its leg. The only difference is vultures eat meat that has so much bacteria in it, it would make us very sick. They're basically like nature's cleanup crew. Plus, because they're always sticking their faces into rotting meat, they have that bald head that helps keep their feathers clean. He's got another way of keeping himself clean, but it's kind of weird. Do you guys want to hear it? If he needs to clean off his legs, he pees on them. Yeah, that's why we named this guy Whizzer. Now, we got Whizzer because about 17 years ago, someone thought it would be a good idea to shoot this big, beautiful bird in his left wing. And because birds' bones are hollow, when they break, they don't always heal quite right. And that's what happened to Whizzer here. He can fly a little bit, but not enough to survive in the wild. Let's give a hand to Whizzer, our beautiful turkey vulture.
Now we are gonna go from beautiful to cute. This is Maya. She's about a 40-year-old spider monkey. She's been at our center for almost 30 years now. And in 1994, we got a call from LA County Sheriffs saying they found this monkey abandoned in a dumpster. Apparently somebody threw her away. And this kind of thing actually happens a lot. See, people get monkeys, they try to make them into pets, and then quickly learn why that's not such a good idea. See, monkeys are set up by nature to be the farmers of the rainforest. They are set up to eat fruits, they swallow the seeds, they squeeze the seeds out the other end in a nice little pile of fertilizer, and they do this about every 15 minutes. So as they're planting fruit trees in people's couch cushions and around the rest of their house, people get very tired of them. Not to mention the fact that as monkeys get older, they tend to get an attitude, people get bit, they get sent to the hospital, and if that's not enough, they find out that these monkeys can live 40 to 50 years. So they get rid of them in all sorts of ways. Whether they get caught by US Fish and Wildlife, and they send them to centers like ours, or other times they just release them into the world. Kind of like what happened to Maya here. Now, spider monkeys, they are perfectly set up for life in the canopies of the rainforest. They're what's known as a brachiator, which means they hang and swing through the trees, so she's not set up like other monkeys. She doesn't have that opposable thumb on her hand. She does have one on her foot, but instead, can I see her fingers here? Instead, she has 4 alien-like fingers that allow her to hook onto the branches so she can swing through the trees as fast as a horse can run on land. She also has the coolest tail in the jungle. Her prehensile or grasping tail is so dexterous that she can pick up something as small as a grain of rice with the tip of her tail. And I see her use that tail for all sorts of stuff. She hangs by that tail, she carries food around with it, she scratches her head with it. Every once in a while I catch her picking her nose with it. I mean, it's the most amazingly useful tail I have ever seen. But when Maya first came into our center, she was not doing very well. She was fed so much of the wrong foods when she was young that she has major health issues even to this day. In fact, she can't even extend her legs fully, which is a big part of why she's not able to live with other spider monkeys and why she's with us at our center. Now, spider monkeys are amazing, top-tier climbers, but our next guest has some surprising climbing abilities as well. But let's give a hand to Maya, the spider monkey.
This is Disco, our gray fox. Now, we got Disco from a local rescue center that took him in when he was found abandoned as a very young baby. They had intended to raise Disco to be re-released, but the rehabber that got assigned to him did all the wrong things. She loved him, she cuddled him, she let him play with her dogs and her kids, and so when she took him back to that center for release, they instantly realized that she had ruined him. He had lost his healthy fear of people and wouldn't survive in the wild. So instead, they called us. And 12 years ago, we took him in, and he's been helping us do educational programs ever since. Now, Disco is a pretty special little guy. Foxes only live to about 8 or 9 in the wild, and he is 13, so he is a senior citizen. That's why we brought him to Florida. And gray foxes are incredible creatures. They can scale trees with ease using their cat-like movements, and they are exceptional hunters and scavengers, eating anything from berries and grasses to mice and carrion. But for a while, their numbers were drastically decreased due to overhunting for their beautiful fur. Plus, we introduced an invasive species. The European red fox has taken over gray foxes' habitats, they've taken over their food sources, but luckily, in recent years, gray fox populations have been making a steady comeback, which I think is really cool to see. Now, Disco here may look pretty cute, but actually, he's very stinky. Gray foxes have a very strong musky odor that he would use in the wild to mark his territory, as well as a personal cologne to attract the lady foxes. But even though he's a bit stinky, we still love him. Now, our next animal used to be a challenge animal. We would bring her out for audiences to try and guess and see what she was, but in recent years, we've been losing this challenge. She's about to come out, but let's give it up for little Disco, our gray fox.
Now this is Samantha, and what is she? A lemur, exactly right, but she's not just any lemur. She's what's known as a brown lemur. You guys know why she's called a brown lemur? Yeah, I guess she's brown. Now, if you look at the lemur's eyes, do you think she's awake in the day, or do you think she's awake at night? That's what I think too. With her big, yellow, owl-like eyes, she looks like a nocturnal or a nighttime animal, but she's not. She's actually diurnal. She gets up in the mornings, and the first thing that she does is she greets every member of her lemur family. And how one lemur says hello to another lemur is kind of weird. Do you guys want to see? Are you sure you want to see? All right, I'm going to make it sound like a pig. She's going to answer me back. Then she's going to do something rather strange. You guys sure you want to see this? All right, things I do for an audience. Ready, Samantha? Did you guys see that? First, she answered my pig-like grunt, and then she licked inside my nose. Now, I have an idea. If you guys want to know what that's like, how about everybody turn to the person next to you and say hello? No, don't do this. I got in big trouble with a preschool group because I couldn't get them to stop. It's like their new school handshake. Now, the lemurs, they get up, they greet their whole family unit, then they go off looking for food. Now, for her, she doesn't want to use the ground. Where she lives, there are fossa, a jungle cat-like creature that loves to eat lemurs. There's also crocodiles by the water's edge. So when she gets around, she uses the trees. And how she gets from one tree to the next is she jumps. They're even called leaping lemurs. Do you guys want to see her jump? All right, amazing, amazing jumping ability. Ready, Samantha? How's that? No, oh, she's going to the bathroom. I think I'll wait till she's done. Let me know when you're finished. All right, we're good to go. Oh, she's cheating. No cheating. Let's go, Sam. Sam, do a big jump. You can do it. Woo! You know what? No, that for her, that is nothing. That's barely even a hop. But Samantha here is over 30 years old. She's a fairly old lemur. So I don't ask her to do super far jumps anymore. But when she was younger, in her prime, she can jump from my shoulder and she can land on the table all the way over there. And as she jumps through the air, she uses this big, beautiful, long tail of hers to keep her balance as she would be bounding through the canopies of Madagascar. Now Samantha, though, her story is she was found in a man's home in Palmdale, California. Somebody had decided it would be an okay idea to take a lemur, an endangered species, and keep her in a cage in their garage. Now, does that sound fair to her? No, I love this girl a lot, but I wish she was roaming the canopies of Madagascar, licking other lemurs' noses. That is where she truly belongs. And there are over 110 different species of lemurs. All of them have two things in common. They are only found in Madagascar, nowhere else on our planet. And every single species of lemur is endangered in the wild. If we don't do something fairly quickly, we could actually lose these beautiful creatures during our lifetime. Now, lemurs, though, they do one other funny thing. They keep their fur nice and soft and clean by using their teeth. Their four front teeth on their bottom jaw stick straight out. 4 forming what's called a tooth comb or a dental comb. They rake that comb through their fur, keeping their fur in perfect shape. That way they can spend as little time on the ground as possible. Kind of like our next guest who likes to spend her days soaring high up in the skies over eastern Texas. But not as little Samantha. Let's say goodbye to the brown lemur here.
This is Tico, our Harris hawk. Now, Harris hawks are incredibly unique. They are one of the rare birds of prey that actually hunt in packs. Because they come from such a harsh desert environment where food is very scarce, they found that by teaming up, they have a much higher chance of success. We got Tico from a facility called the Colson Project that actually breeds and re-releases Harris hawks back into areas of eastern Texas that have been devastated by hurricanes. Normally, they pair the birds up before release so they have a good chance of survival, but Ms. Tico here was actually deemed non-releasable because, and I quote, she doesn't play well with others. Because she was a bit of a diva and wanted to stay single, she was sent to our center instead. Now, Harris hawks are incredible daytime hunters. They have eyesight that's about 6 times better than ours, meaning that even when they look like a tiny little speck high up in the sky, they can still clearly see a mouse all the way down on the ground. And they have these really cool ridges over their eyes that act just like the front of a baseball cap to shield their eyes from the glare of the sun. Their taloned feet use roughly 500 pounds per square inch of force to grab their prey and make it a meal. And they even cooperate with their partners to back prey into difficult situations, communicating with their fellow hawks by flashing the white on their tail. That's what we like to call a hawky-talkie. Because they're such excellent cooperative hunters, Harris hawks get the nickname the Wolves of the Sky. Let's give a hand to Tico, our Harris hawk.
So, with Harris hawks being such an excellent example of cooperation, I feel like we can really learn something from them. See, we're not doing a very good job of cooperating with our wild friends. See, animals around our world are suffering. Do things like climate change and deforestation. Take monkeys, for instance. 90% of the world's monkey species are endangered. Most of the world's monkey species are disappearing from this planet. If we don't change some things, we are going to lose some of our most beloved animals and make our planet very hard for us to live on as well. Which is why we work with all these wild animals, is in order to protect them in the wild. But I'll tell you guys, because we get to work with all these animals, people tend to ask us one question. They tend to ask us what our favorite animal is. And you know what? I'm going to do the opposite today. Do you guys have a favorite animal? What's your favorite? I'm hearing monkeys, some other awesome wild animals. But I'll tell you guys, we love the wildlife. That's why we do what we do. But my favorite animal, without question, without a doubt, is this next guest. His name is Basil. And well, check him out. Come on here, Basil. This is my favorite animal. I trust him, he trusts me. We never ever fight each other. I know he wants to be with me. You have to know the wild animals much rather be in the wild where they truly belong. Anyways, thank you so much for coming and listening to our rescue tales. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day here at SeaWorld, everybody. Thank you very much for coming.
up guys, it's Ben from Theme Park Groupie. The most liked comment on our previous video of Christmas at Hogwarts at Universal Orlando Resort comes from Andrew Montgomery. It says, that looks so cool, just like in the movies, and a fitting tribute to the late Hagrid Robbie Coltrane. So true, it is so awesome to see in person, and I love that they cycle throughout the shows throughout the entire year. I really do appreciate you hanging out with us and checking out all that SeaWorld Orlando offers on our live stream. If you came in late, it'll be posted later for the full stream, and you can watch it all over again if you choose. If you did enjoy this video, go ahead and like and share it with a friend. Be sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss anything we do in the future. Thanks for watching Theme Park Groupie.